why the hate for Final Fantasy like 15? And I'm just like sitting here like thinking because I don't want a bromance story, and that's the main focus of the story. You know, really simple, really simple, directly to the point. Like I don't want the fucking bromance. It doesn't appeal. I grew up with the previous entries in the series, and there was traditionally like a love story that was in it, but instead, what we got was a substitution where, essentially, the love story is between Noctis and his male compatriots that go with him on the road trip. Yeah, no, I would literally rather watch paint dry. Um, I think honestly, I would rather go watch Zoolander than watch this, or another Let's Play of this crap. It was bad. I don't really care if there's witty banter between these characters. I really just don't want this. I don't care. You know, like maybe there is some kind of amusing relationship between. I don't want it. And Square Enix tried to force the bromance down our unwilling throats, and so that's why for the hate. Like the storyline that we actually got with it was one that I don't want and will never be appealing to me ever. And I guess like I don't like seriously. Why would you want that? Is what I'm left with. With all the people who like this game, like no interest. And so like I'm left, with this general sentiment of bitterness and anger towards Final Fantasy 15 in that what I wanted is an actual boy girl love story, and instead what I got was a cheap substitution that was hackneyed and basically tried to force a bromance down my throat that I didn't want, and that I find the prospect of painting my walls and then literally watching the paint dry more appealing than sitting through you know and I'm not really exaggerating. I you know I think that I could find just about anything else to do for fun that I would find more appealing than the prospect of sitting through the Final Fantasy 15's bromance. I don't want it, and yet that's what we were left with. Once Stella was gutted from the damn thing and everything was removed, all we had was a bromance between the four main male characters, and this is radioactively repulsive and incredibly unappealing at its core, and that's all that's left of it, and so basically at the end of the day, I don't get it. And Final Fantasy, the thing is, it is so bad that it like one of the merits of Final Fantasy 15 is that its story is so bad it's making and rehabilitating the image for me of the remake of 7. For instance, I I look back and I didn't like the retcons that were made to Chrono Trigger because I was like, no, Chrono Cross is actually a very bad sequel and I wish it wasn't canon. They're trying to undo everything that was done over the series and leave it alone. It was not There wasn't anything wrong with what Chrono and his allies did. Why do we have to go and try to retcon and make it bad and reverse everything in Chrono Cross? Like I didn't like this. So of course I do feel some sympathy for people who are like they changed the story to Final Fantasy 7 and everything. I was thinking that myself that it would hurt more to see not Luna, I mean to see Aerith get killed this time by Sephiroth because I felt that I had kind of connected over the first game with her character a little bit more than I did like the first time around because the voice acting had made a rather dramatic difference. The upgrade in technology had made me feel a lot more intensely connected to the characters this time around, but it was very evident that they were shifting the story around in a lot of ways. But I don't know. I was kind of taking a little wait and see. Maybe they can take it in a different, interesting direction, sort of thing. I didn't want to hate on it just because of the fact that I knew they were retconning it. I just wanted to wait and see what they would change about it. Like that's what I found myself curious to. But when it comes to the 15, like tries to carry itself off bad, gameplay that I don't want, which is action, combat, and then it tries to chase it down with a bromance story that I also find radioactively unappealing and that I want to distance myself from as quickly as possible and nope the fuck out of as quickly as I possibly can. All I can say is that this is so clearly not for me, and I have no interest in it. I literally like any other game would be more appealing than it. Almost like especially if it were for a JRPG. Like I can think of a million of them that I find more appealing. I can think of a million animes that I'd rather watch. I can think of a million movies that were romances, like 10 Things I Hate About You springs to mind, that I would rather watch than, basically watch somebody else play this action that I don't want RPG. And I regret that I wasted time watching a let's plays of Final Fantasy 15. I want the time that I invested in doing that back so that I could put it in doing something more enjoyable than the bromance behind this game. I find videos that say it was a mediocre disappointment, and all I can think is you're being too kind to it.